This is Eugene Web Devs. Thank you everybody for coming. This is a great turnout. We're here talking about Hack for a Cause. How many people have competed in Hack for a Cause or helped out? Anybody? These guys obviously. So a lot of new faces to the event. It's a really fun event. I've competed in it, and it's really worthwhile, especially when you make something that does help and solve a problem. And let me grab the slide thing. How many people are here looking for a team, looking to join a team? All right, cool. So we'll be hanging out afterwards, talking with the speakers, and we can all network and see if we can find a challenge that everybody wants to work on and form a team. So we'll just get started now. Is this working? Yep. Okay, so we'll start with, what is Hack for a Cause? So this is a philanthropic hackathon here in Eugene. We don't have a lot of hackathons in Eugene. We've had a couple. There were some at the university, but this has been the main one over the last couple years that has a good turnout of developers and solutions coming out of one weekend. So it's hosted by the Technology Association of Oregon, and if you guys are unfamiliar with them, they sponsor a lot of the tech stuff. They speak out on behalf of a lot of the tech industry around town. They were big in getting the fiber downtown, getting that extended and actually usable by a lot more businesses, including here, IDX. We use it here. And so they do a lot of great stuff for technology. So if you're not familiar with them, check out their website. I wish they could have been here today. They're off doing Technology of Oregon stuff, talking about other places. So why compete? So this is a question I get a lot. You know, it's free dev work, right? You kill yourself for a weekend for what? But I think there are some compelling reasons to compete. Helping a cause is fun. And for a lot of people here with very specific skills, this is a great way to donate some of that. A lot of these organizations don't have someone who's a developer there all the time that can answer the tech questions or point them in the right direction when they're looking to solve some of their problems. So it's a great way to donate the valuable skills you have to causes that you decide you care about to do that. In the past, for me competing, it's been a great time to try out new tech. It's always a challenge for me to make a project for myself when there's a new framework or some new thing, and I got to figure out whether I like it or not, or whether it's going to be useful for me. So these events are great for jumping into a project with something new and just getting into it and learning it for a weekend. And that's been fun for me and the teams I've been on. Being a part of the community, so showing up and hearing all these stories about these organizations that you may have heard of before, but you don't know that they have this need or they're doing things in a way that could be better with technology. So that's part of the community we all live in. Eugene's not a big town. We've probably all heard of a lot of these organizations, and it's cool to help them out. And challenging yourself. Making MVP in a weekend isn't always easy, especially with things like limited data. You know, the challengers don't always know exactly what they want. You know, there's challenges in communication there as well. So getting better at all that in a time crunch is a challenge for yourself too, and I think that's fun. But why prep? You know, it's a hackathon. You just show up, right? Start clicky clack. Next thing you know, I got something that I can show off. But preparation helps a lot, especially with knowing what you're getting into when you go in. So Hack for a Cause is next week, so I think that's a good reason to get together, all of us here. You're all here for the same reasons. Hackathons can be grueling. 48 hours isn't a long time, but when you're really trying to hammer out a project, really trying to get as far as you can in 48 hours, you lose a lot of sleep, you drink way too much Red Bull or Monsters or whatever. So it's tough. Having a better plan is a good idea. I'm looking at you, Alan. And a good team makes for more fun. We all enjoy technology. That's why we're doing stuff, or being creative. And I think to some degree, if you're here, you probably enjoy solving problems and making something cool. So a good team helps it be less grueling and more fun overall. And that's kind of the other reason I wanted to get everybody here. We're going to have some time afterwards. Everybody can mingle, talk about the challenges, which I'll go over after our speakers. We'll go over each one of the challenges real quick. But yeah, let's go to what's the event like. So it's a hackathon, so you're making stuff. You're trying to come up with the best idea you can. This is actually from the hackathon. People coding. No surprise. It's at the Downtown Athletic Club. If you haven't been there, it's a very nice facility. It's about a block away. They've been the host the last, all the years, I guess. They're great. They're really nice. They opened up the whole place to us. There's showers, there's a hot tub, there's a pool. The X-Billy restaurant bar area is really nice. We also get sponsorship of food. IDX usually sends, I think, breakfast burritos the last 2 years, but who knows what we'll send this year. There's also food there, but I really encourage everyone, if you're going to do the hackathon, do one of these things. Just get out of your chair, stop coding for a minute, sit in the hot tub, or take a lap, whatever. And a shower. Showers are good too. So then after, you go and you check out the amenities and you see where you're going to be doing, you hack it up, right? You have your Red Bull, like I said, looking at you, Alan. While your Red Bull, your energy drinks, and you start writing your code. Probably not emoji code, but I thought that one was fun. That'll be most of the time with you and your team. If you have a well-rounded team of different skills, so you have creatives, there's going to be brainstorming processes. It won't just be all code. But that'll definitely be a lot of it depending on what project you take on and how far you want to go with it, how quickly you get through the project into the closer to your, whatever you decided the scope of your MVP is. After that, you get a giant check. One of those big novelty checks you see on TV and stuff, like you can't really take it to the bank. But you get one of those if your project is chosen. And the prize money differs. I don't know what the prizes are set at this year. I do know that it's more than the previous years, so that's cool. But you can see there's some of the faces here today on this slide that have participated in one in the past. So let's hear from a couple of those guys, starting with Matt Bliss. Everybody.
All right, hey, I'm not used to, thanks. Doing presentations. I actually mostly sit at a computer like a lot of people here. I work in an art room. I'm a graphic designer, and last year I helped out for the first time at a hackathon. So the project that I worked on was Change for Change, or what wound up being called You'd Change. I see a couple people from that here today. And I didn't know, what I was going to do at a hackathon. A couple friends said I should come check it out, and I might be able to help out. And I was pretty sure, like, I could probably do a couple assets or something, but I don't know how much help I'm going to be. And this project was one of the first ones I saw, and it had built into the project the necessity for an ad campaign, because what the project was a donation platform for people to donate money to projects that help homeless people, as opposed to giving money directly downtown to panhandlers. And so that's something where you've got to not just let people know that it exists, but they've got to actually know why they're giving this money to you. Who does it benefit? Is it trusted? So our devs set up a nice trusted front end, that you could see is like, yes, this money's going to these things, and this money's going to be, your money's going to be safe. But I had to, with the help of a couple other people, figure out how to communicate this to people. And that was a really clear fit for my skills. Not every project is going to have such a clear fit for designers, which is why I'm going to kind of let you know a few things that they could help you out with. I might be going over some well-tread territory, so if you're familiar with it, I'll try and leave a little time at the end for questions. So one of the first things that would really help out with a lot of projects, maybe not everyone, is branding. Even just something as simple as selecting colors for your brand, picking a font, is going to give a cohesive look to your project. And that's going to help it stand out. That's going to help give it a little polish for the end. But branding also helps convey an identity. It tells you something about that project. Little details can give your project a sense of being cutting edge or traditional and safe. And having that identity out the gate is also going to help communicate what you are doing to your client, because a lot of your clients are not going to have that technical background to understand exactly what you're doing. So helping contextualize that in a real world sense with a brand identity that they can attach the ideas that you're communicating them to them is going to be important. UI design, front-end design, most of you people are going to be pretty familiar with that, at least working with some people in your jobs probably. But even just starting with somebody that can just sketch something out for you real quick can give your team a common goal to work towards. It can help them, save time and communicate and start prototyping in a conceptual sense from the beginning. And at the end, too, you will have at least a mock-up of a UI that you can present to your customer that they can see and understand a little bit better how the technology that you're building for them is going to work. Once again, a lot of the customers you're going to be working with, clients, they aren't going to have that technical background, and that'll kind of help contextualize a lot of what you'll be communicating to them. Assets. This is also really important for polish, the little details, having a bespoke number of, elements that kind of help your user interface, even if it's built from tools that are supplied by someone else, help it become something unique and purpose-built. Those will help it look a little bit better. Things like advertisements, mocking that up kind of communicates to people that, that it's kind of ready for the real world, but also anything that you could communicate to somebody that's not familiar with the project, a person on the street that would be the end user, communicating that to your client is going to be even easier with assets like that. And it'll help give your pitch polish, excuse me. And all of us are going to be pitching our projects to our prospective client, and that's going to be an important thing to have that pitch look as good as possible. So, just to wrap up, if anybody's got questions that I can go into detail, if I've covered something you already know about, I can expound on something. Or, if there's anything I missed too.
Yeah, so, I'm sure the people will give us some assets, but they're probably going to be light on a lot of that. Do you have recommended places we can go to grab new assets for our projects, that, open source stuff, or?
That's a good question, and I can do a little bit of research on that. A lot of stuff that I build, I work in print, so a lot of stuff that I'm either getting it from my customer that has, licensed assets, and or building it, from scratch. But, having access to, free font libraries, having access to, there are a couple of icon libraries that I know of that I could find out and post to the Slack thing. Yes?
We actually have design mentors this year too, so we should have some people help. That's good.
Great. Any other questions? Cool. All right.
All right, hi everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces from hackathons around the town, so I'm sure most of you have experienced this before, but for those of you, oh, there's a camera. Hi. So for most of you, or those of you who haven't experienced hackathons before, I'll just let you know a few tips. Okay. Okay, so the benefits of actually participating in a hackathon, I know that Antonio talked about this already, but networking is a big part of it. Just getting your face out there and showing people, especially tech companies in town, that you know what you're doing, and showing off what you work like. Learning is a big part of it. It's an opportunity to fail really fast and fail often. It's a very humbling experience. It's a great way to expand your comfort zone and try something completely new. Another really great part about this is it's open source, so those of you who are trying to build up your dev portfolio, you can actually show off what you want to do. Of course, the community benefit, and you also get a hand in all of the entire project design, so architecture, UI, API, front end, so stuff that you might not be able to actually get in your day-to-day job. So, my advice for you, think about what do you really need, and ask this to yourself like 3 times in a row. It's like, do I really need that? Because oftentimes you'll be like, oh, well, I need this like whole DevOps structure, infrastructure, pipeline to deploy, like all this stuff. You get carried up in the technical side of it, but that's not really what the customers or the nonprofits really want or need at this point. Pace yourself, push your comfort zone. Teamwork is a big thing, so play to the strengths of your teammates. Try and break up the project into separate responsibilities so that you're like really using everybody on your team to their full potential. Watch for scope creep. That's a big one because, you know, when we're creating something, you just want to put everything into it. But part of that is also marketing and design. So like we were saying, design is a big part about this, marketing to the customer, and also being able to communicate that up on stage. So having somebody on your team who is a really great public speaker and can sell what you're doing, not only to the audience in front of you, but to the judges when they come around, is a really big thing. My project last year was not the best, but we sold it and ended up winning because of that. And then commit often, very often. So scope, remember again that you have 2 days, so prioritize what is really needed to deliver on Sunday, and then add more to it as you finish that. So focus on the deliverable, ask questions to the challenge representatives and also the mentors that are coming around. If you're not sure if you're on the right track, or if you might just be getting too much into like your ideal plan for the project, they can settle you down. And then smoke and mirrors. This is the biggest thing. So show the interaction, build the functionality later. The interaction is what really is going to communicate to the people who are not so technical. So that's pretty much my...
Yeah. How's everyone doing? So I'll basically talk about my experience at the hackathon. It was one of my major hackathons. I did a few around the school, the U of O. But this one was a really different one that I think is unique in its own way, partially because we were doing it for a cause, as well for a community. So where you live, you get to give back in a way that plays especially well to your strength. Like we all have technical skills, I'm assuming to certain degrees and so forth. So it's really nice that we're able to give back. And a lot of times people are like, yeah, if I had just this technology to do something, if I can make it AR or something, they have no idea how to approach it, but we as developer, given that our experience in order to get back to them and say, like, yeah, this is a solution, and we're able to do it. Sometimes it's as simple as setting up a website or making their payment process easier. So a few things that I really liked about the hackathons that compared to school is that when we're given our projects, we're given very rigorous standards and guidelines that at a hackathon they're saying, like, go play, you know, here's the solution, you can come up with whatever your mind dreams of, but obviously with certain constraints, you have 48 hours to do it, but you get to use all different types of tools that you like to play with, different types of open APIs, or even you can use I think it's called LOLs if you want to use that for your coding language, or Brain. It's a different coding language you can use for those. And then networking, I think, is a really great part. Not only learning about the developer community here, but also about other community members, such as I think we saw Chamber of Commerce was there, also Downtown Merchant Group was there too. So a lot of community members here. You feel really being part of the Eugene community here. And then also the collaboration. Along with that, I'm working on Matt's team and then a bunch of other my teammates. You work with teams that aren't necessarily developers, so you learn a lot of different insights and different ideas and solutions that you wouldn't think of, and that will inspire you to create a very clever and creative solution as well. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, you guys, for speaking. You know, I think the three of those guys on one team would be a really good team, really well-rounded team. Hopefully, you guys don't all make one team. I don't want to compete against you. So let's talk about the challenges, though. So I'm just going to go through these kind of high level. I don't have all the answers about what is provided from each challenger, but I just wanted to kind of look at them. I've been on a lot of the planning committees, so I've heard some more information that's probably here. All this is available on hackforacause.org, and you can just read it anytime you want, and this will get updated as we get more information. 15th Night. So 15th Night was a challenge that started Hack for a Cause Year 1, and the idea was if a kid's on the streets for more than 15 nights, he or she is more likely to stay on the streets. So getting them off the streets before that 15th night is a great idea. So this already has a code base and has been in practice. So this is more like an update and an enhancement and less of a from start challenge. I believe it's a Flask mostly, and I'm not sure about what sample DP they give you, but this is a really cool challenge that has already helped people. So it's cool that it's looking for some enhancements to reach further. Adventure Children's Museum. And this one was, I think, mostly about awareness of the Children's Museum and getting the referral and reporting. A lot of the times when you have these nonprofits, the reporting is suffering a little bit. Yeah, Chris?
The copy on this is actually wrong.
Oh, is it?
The challenge is on the Hack for a Cause website.
Yeah, please refer to the Hack for a Cause website, not my slides that I did a couple weeks ago. Updates happen on the website, not so much on the slides that I do. So then we'll move on. Emerald Compassion Action Network. This is a community challenge, building a community and trying to use technology for community building, making it easy for people to connect in a kind of a micro community. The warming centers. This is another data one, I think, if I remember right. Yeah, guest counts. So having clear and accurate reports for any of these nonprofits is essential, especially when they need to figure out how much funding they need. And something like a spiral notebook usually doesn't cut it very well. So that's another one of those figure out how to store the data, report it better. Mural wayfinding. There's not much copy here because this is my challenge. Oh, what's this? Oh, let me read about the. Well, and then okay, wow, I just cut myself off. The Children's Museum. Let's see, accessibility online. That's what they're looking for. Something for family-friendly information on a website, but more than just a website, a portal that gives the visitors insight into the exhibits that they have. So that's what that one's about. I'm just going to go off this instead of the slide since this is more up to date. The Compassion, that one's still the same. That one's the community building. So is the warming center. So the mural wayfinding one, which is mine. That one is a wayfinder for any visitors to Eugene who then can find whatever experience it is, native app, web page, whatever, and find them cool murals we have around town because you don't always know where they are, and they're pretty cool. And it's a neat way to explore Eugene. We have potential for a lot of people to be visiting here shortly with some of the Olympic stuff that are happening, or the trials that are happening. So it'd be cool to offer that experience. Parenting Now. This is attendance rosters, evaluation forms, a lot of more database stuff to share. They have a clunky system now, and they wanted a cloud-based system that they can distribute their information for events and everything easier. QR donations is another one. This one is an easy way to take payments. I'm curious how that's going to be implemented. Where's that one? QR donations. The idea is a simple QR code. You're at a charity event. You just scan it with your phone, and you've donated to make that process as simple as possible. The next one, step into AR comics. So this is an interesting one because it involves augmented reality. There we go. There's a lot of copy on this one. I would recommend reading this one on the website because, jeez. I recommend not listening to me. There we go. Yeah, this one I would definitely read. This one's about putting augmented reality into the park garages and having some comics. It's going to be a really cool one to do a lot of creative presentation, especially with the AR, and it'll be distributed around the parking garages, so a lot of people with a lot of exposure there. Transponder. This is, we need a website and a database to help doctors, therapists, surgeons, and other service providers that cater to transgender and those kind of communities in the local area. Waste prevention. This one's about preventing so much waste getting into our landfills. This one, food waste breakdown. Yeah, I think this is a way to get that food to go somewhere else before it gets into a landfill instead of just by default. And last but very much not least, the Whiteboard Clinic Challenge. And since I've done such a terrible job at explaining these, I'm going to have somebody else explain it. We have the challenger here. Everybody.
Thank you. So Whiteboard has been publishing a resource guide on paper since the 80s and up till now, and we're ready for an update. We have a database of all of our existing resource information, and we want to make that into a website that has accessibility features like a mobile version and maps, and yeah, we have a bunch of ideas. And if you have any questions, I will be here, and please ask.
All right, well, things to remember. This is probably the biggest reason that I wanted to put all this together, get everybody here in one room to get the message out. Not only getting together, finding other people, other passionate people, technical people, and creative people to be on a team together, but get up and get outside. Don't kill yourself. I've seen quite a few people the last couple of years try and stay there and do 48 straight hours, and don't do it. It's not a good idea. It's not a fun experience for you. But please do come. And if you have any questions about the competition, we're all going to be hanging out here for a while, everyone who spoke, and challengers. I'm one of the challengers too. If everybody's looking to get teams, if you kind of know which challenge you want to get on, maybe if somebody wants to, maybe we're looking for a team that has a challenge already? No? Oh. Oh, sure.
So in terms of teams, we will be sending out an email in the next few days to direct you to the Slack workspace that we have, and from there we have a channel for finding other team members and then breaking out into that. So if you don't find anybody tonight, then you can definitely join on Slack.
Cool. Yeah, please join on Slack. That's how we communicate there. At the hackathon too, a lot of the stuff goes through there and all the planning and stuff. And latest information. Yeah. The Slack channel? It's Hack for Cause, yeah.
If you go on IDX Slack too, there's a channel for Hack for Cause.
And if you want, you can just drop me your email address. I'll make sure you get an invite to the Slack channel. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming. Please hang out and let everybody else here know who wants to be on a team who's looking to do one of these particular challenges. Well, like I said, we'll all be hanging out. Thanks, IDX, for letting us do this here all the time. Thank you to the speakers, Matt, Megan, and what? Sorry?
I just said thank you.
Oh, thanks, everybody.